Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see previous year 4 GATE questions, that is questions from GATE 2021 and GATE 2020. That means the latest 2 year question we are going to see in this lecture. Now very first question we are going to see is latest question, that is GATE 2021 asked in set 2 for 2 marks. Let us see the question. The figure shows the relationship between fatigue strength years and fatigue life n for a material. Now here figure is given on y-axis log to the base 10 fatigue strength years is given, and on x-axis log to the base 10 n, that is fatigue life in number of cycles, is given. The fatigue strength of a material for a life of 1000 cycles is 450 MPa. Now here they have mentioned that for 1000 cycles the life is 450 MPa. So my dear students, whenever n1 is equal to 1000, then s1 will be equal to 450 MPa, and n1 is cycles, right? Now then, while its fatigue strength for life of 10 to the power 6 cycles, now when n2 becomes equal to 10 to the power 6 cycles, then s2 becomes equal to 150. Here it is mentioned that 150 MPa. You can see in given data for 10 to the power 6 cycles 150 MPa, right? Then the life of cylindrical shaft made of this material subjected to the alternating stress of 200 MPa will be, now in cycles they are asking, in cycles round off to the nearest integer. Now here the question is that if s3 is equal to 200 MPa, then what will be the life n3 in cycles? This is the question, and round off to the nearest integer. This is the given data. Now my dear students, here life in cycles and strength in MPa is given, but we have to plot log 10 s versus log 10 en diagram. So let us draw this diagram. Therefore my dear students, if I draw this diagram, on y-axis there will be a log 10 s, right? So this diagram will be on y-axis there will be a log to the base 10 into fatigue strength, and on x-axis the diagram will be log to the base 10 number of cycles, right? And the diagram is shown here. The diagram is shown like this. Now my dear students, whenever en is equal to 1000, therefore we can say log 10,000, which is nothing but 3. Therefore here we have to plot 3 on x-axis. Therefore let us plot this point. Let us say there is a 3 point somewhere here. 3 is nothing but log 10,000, right? Then s1 is 450 MPa. Therefore we have to plot 450 MPa means log 10 450. That point we have to plot on y-axis. Then this fraction we will find as 2.653. So let us plot this point on y-axis. Therefore corresponding to this 3, the log 10 SF, here log 10 SF or S will be 2.653, right? Then they have given log 10 to the power 6. Now if I consider 10 to the power 6 and 2 10 to the power 6, then if I consider log 10 to the power 6, then it will come 6. Therefore let us mark this point 6. Let's say this is a 6 point, right? And corresponding to this 6 point, the strength, fatigue strength log 10 SF we have to see, right? Now corresponding to this 6, s2 is nothing but 150 MPa. Therefore the y coordinate we have to plot log 10 s2, which is nothing but 150. Then I will find this value is equal to 2.176. Therefore this value will be 2.176, right, corresponding to 6 value. Now my dear students, again they have given what will be the n3 if s3 is equal to 200 MPa, and now s is plotted on y-axis. Therefore 200 MPa means, here if I consider log 10 200, then I will find equal to 2.301, right? But this is a y coordinate because this is a yes, log 10 yes, y coordinate. Therefore if y coordinate becomes, let us say the value of y coordinate is 2.301, then what will be the x coordinate? This is the question. Now, my dear students, can I say this x coordinate will be log 10 n, right? This will be the log 10 n, and they are asking what is the value of this n. What will be this n, right? So let us solve for this n. Here we have to fill this answer. So my dear students, as we have drawn the diagram, here I am deleting the question so that we will get sufficient space for the solution, right? And in the fill in the blanks, we will type the answer. Already I have discussed many times how to type this answer, right? Now, my dear students, let us solve this question. Now here, let us try to form two triangles. Let us say if I mark points A, B and C, I think everyone is able to see these points A, B, C, right? And as well as I will mark more points, let us say D and E, right? Now for triangle ABC, for triangle ABC and triangle ADE, can I say the angle at A is common? So let us assume the angle at A as a theta. Therefore, angle at A will be theta, right? This theta angle is common for both triangles. Therefore, can I say for both triangles, as they are similar triangles, this tan theta, can I say tan theta is nothing but opposite side divided by hypotenuse. Therefore, opposite side is nothing but here first side is BC divided by opposite side divided by adjacent side. Tan theta is opposite side divided by adjacent side. Make a correction, right? Therefore, BC divided by AC. This is it for first triangle is equal to. For second triangle, it is opposite side is DE divided by AE. Therefore, it will become DE divided by AE, right? So let us find BC. Now, can I say BC is nothing but this value minus this value, right? Therefore, BC is 2.653 minus 2.176 divided by AC. AC is nothing but 6 minus 3. Therefore, it is 6 minus 3 is equal to. Now, DE. DE, can I say this value minus this value? Therefore, it is nothing but 2.301 minus 2.176 divided by. Now, AE is nothing but 6 minus log 10 n. Therefore, A is 6 minus log 10 n. Now, my dear students, in this complete equation, only log 10 n is unknown. And if I simplify this equation for log 10 n, now this is a school level mathematics. You have to simplify this. And if you are feeling problem for simplifying this, then this is a big problem, my dear students, right? For GATE examination, such type of calculations you have to do very easily. Then only you can get good score in the GATE examination, right? This is a simple school level aptitude only. Therefore, if I solve this for log 10 n, then I will find log 10 n is equal to 5.22. But my dear students, they are asking what is the value of n. Therefore, if I want to remove this log, then n will be equal to 10 to the power. Because this is a log 10, then I have to consider 10 to the power 5.22. And if I simplify, then n I will get 165958 cycles. This is your answer. So my dear students, in the fill in the blanks, you have to type 165958 for getting full marks. Now the next question, which was asked in again GATE 2021, but this question was asked in set 1. Now this question was asked for 2 marks. Now again on the footing loading, the question is the machine part in the form of cantilever beam is subjected to fluctuating load as shown in figure. Now see here, there is a cantilever beam on which the point load at the extreme end is applied, and for this beam the cross section is given here. The cross section is 12 by 20 mm, right? The load varies from 800 Newton to 1600 Newton. Now this load is varying from 800 Newton to 1600 Newton. Means the maximum load and minimum load. Minimum load in the cycle is 800 Newton. And the maximum load during the cycle is 1600 Newton. Right? This is the fluctuation of load. The modified endurance, yield and ultimate strength of the material are. Now first of all, they have provided value for modified endurance strength, then for yield strength, and then for ultimate strength. The values are given in sequence 200 MPa, 500 MPa and 600 MPa. Therefore, the modified endurance strength SE, which is nothing but 200 MPa, then ultimate strength sorry, yield strength SYT, which is nothing but 500 MPa. SYT is given 500 MPa. Then ultimate strength SUT, which is given 600 MPa. These values they have provided. Then respectively, all dimensions are in mm. Here beam is given, cantilever beam of length 100 mm is given. The factor of the question, here the some part of question is missing, that's why I have written by hand. Now the question is, the factor of safety of the beam using modified Goodman criterion is, and again they have written a round off up to 1 decimal place, right? Here fill in the blank question. So we have to find factor of safety by using modified Goodman criteria, right? We have to use modified Goodman criteria, right? So let us find first maximum and minimum stresses, and after that let us find mean and stress amplitude. Then we will use the equation of modified Goodman diagram. Now my dear students, here maximum load and minimum load and maximum load are given. Now can I say this load is acting as a bending load, and here the load is acting at some distance which is 100 mm, sorry. Because of this load, can I say the beam will bend like this? Because of this load, the beam will bend like this, and the maximum bending moment will be at the fixed end. Always the maximum bending moment is at a fixed end. Therefore we have to consider total distance. For getting maximum distance means maximum bending moment. Now here, therefore, the bend, as force is varying from minimum to maximum, the bending moment will be varying from minimum to maximum. Therefore the bending moment, which is nothing but m, is nothing but force into distance. Therefore minimum bending moment will be equal to, minimum force is 800. For minimum bending moment we have to consider minimum force into distance is 100. Here distance of fixed end from the force is 100 mm. Therefore this will be the minimum bending moment. Therefore m minimum will be equal to 80 into 10 to the power 3, which will be Newton mm, right? This is Newton mm. We are calculating in Newton mm. And similarly maximum bending moment will be maximum force, which is 1600 into distance. Therefore it is 1600 into 100. Therefore maximum bending moment will be equal to 160 into 10 to the power 3, again in Newton mm. Now my dear students, as we have calculated maximum and minimum bending moment, we have one formula to find bending stress. Because of this bending moment, there will be a bending stress in the element. Therefore we have bending equation, that is m by I is equal to sigma b by y. Therefore we can say the sigma b bending stress will be equal to m by I into y, right? This will be the formula to find bending stress. Now my dear students, I here cross section is given. For such a cross section, if I draw here center line, from this center line the vertical distance is called y, which is nothing but the total distance is 20. Therefore y will be 10 mm definitely, right? And I is nothing but BD cube divided by 12, where b is nothing but base and d is nothing but height, that is 20, and here 12, right? This is how we can find I as well as y. Therefore let us find these values. Here I am erasing the question so that we will get sufficient space for the solution, right? Now my dear students, let us find first I and y. Now here we can say the y is nothing but 10 mm and I is nothing but BD cube divided by 12, which is nothing but b is nothing but 12. Here base is 12. This value we can say here b, right? This value you can say b, and height is d, right? Therefore here 12 into d is 20 cube divided by 12. So let us find this I. Therefore I will find this I is equal to 8000, which is nothing but mm power 4, right? This will be the value of I. Therefore my dear students, here this sigma b, which is nothing but m by I into y, m by I into y, sorry, m by I into y, right? Now here I and y values are constant. Therefore as this em is varying, this bending stress is also varying. Therefore this em is varying from minimum to maximum value. Therefore this bending stress is also varying from minimum to maximum value. Therefore we can find sigma b minimum. To find sigma b minimum, we have to put m minimum, right? M minimum is 80 into 10 to the power 3. Therefore m minimum is 80 into 10 to the power 3 into y is 10 divided by I is 8000, right? So if I find this sigma b minimum, then I will get 100 MPa. This sigma b minimum will be 100 MPa, that is Newton per mm square. MPa means Newton per mm square. Similarly, if I solve for sigma b maximum, to find sigma b maximum, here m by I into y, here we have to put maximum m, that is 160 into 10 to the power 3. Therefore m maximum is 160 into 10 to the power 3 into y is 10 divided by I is 8000, right? Therefore if I solve this, I will get sigma b maximum will be 200 MPa. Therefore here we have calculated the maximum bending stress, which is nothing but 200 MPa, and minimum bending stress, which is nothing but 100 MPa. Now once you calculate maximum and minimum values, let us find mean and amplitude value. Sigma mean, which is also represented by sigma m, is nothing but maximum stress plus minimum stress divided by 2, which is nothing but maximum is 200 divided by plus minimum is 100 divided by 2. Therefore mean stress will be equal to 150 MPa. This should be the mean stress. Also we have to find stress amplitude. Sigma a, stress amplitude is nothing but maximum stress minus minimum stress divided by 2, which is nothing but maximum stress is 200 minus minimum is 100 divided by 2. Therefore from this we will get stress amplitude is equal to 50 MPa. So my dear students, here we have calculated mean stress as well as stress amplitude. Now here question is to find the factor of safety by using modified Goodman criteria. So let us understand what is this modified Goodman criteria. Now my dear students, for further solution of question we need SE, SYT, SUT, sigma m and sigma a. So I will keep only these values and rest values I will erase here so that we will get sufficient space, right? Now mean stress is required for the further solution, stress amplitude is also required for the further solution, right? And strengths, that is endurance strength SE, yield strength SYT and ultimate strength SUT are also required, right? So my dear students, let us solve this question. Now they are asking you to use modified Goodman diagram. Now my dear students, stress amplitudes are taken on y-axis and mean stress are taken on x-axis, sigma m, right? And my dear students, on y-axis we are considering endurance strength SE, and on x-axis if I consider SUT, ultimate strength, and if I draw line between SE and SUT, the line is called Goodman line. The line between SE, that is endurance strength on y-axis, and ultimate strength on x-axis, this line is called Goodman line, right? This line is Goodman line. And my dear students, again we are drawing yield line, that is if I draw SYT on y-axis as well as x-axis, SYT values on y-axis as well as x-axis, and if I draw this line SYT line, then this SYT line is called yield line, right? Yield line. And my dear students, the modified Goodman diagram is nothing but the common region between yield line and Goodman line. The common region between yield line and Goodman line is from SE, let's say point A, then up to SYT and O. This common region, this red color common region is called modified Goodman region, right? And any point falling in this region is under safe zone. So my dear students, let us solve for this modified Goodman region. Now my dear students, can I say for modified Goodman region there are two lines, from AC to A there is a Goodman line, and from SYT to A there is a yield line. Therefore we have to find factor of safety by considering both lines. We have to find factor of safety for Goodman line as well as yield line, and the minimum value we have to consider as your answer, right? This is the concept. So my dear students, as per Goodman line, number one, as per Goodman line, the formula is stress amplitude divided by SE plus mean stress divided by SUT is equal to 1 upon factor of safety. That already we have seen in theory lectures, right? This is a formula as per Goodman line. Therefore stress amplitude is nothing but 50 divided by SE is nothing but 200 plus mean stress is 150 divided by SUT is 600 is equal to 1 upon factor of safety. This is the factor of safety as per Goodman line, my dear students. So let us find this factor of safety. If I simplify this, I will get factor of safety is equal to 2, and this factor of safety is as per Goodman line. And if I consider yield line, second criteria, if I consider yield criteria, right? So let us consider here yield criteria. Second, as per yield line, the factor of safety will be sigma A divided by SYT plus sigma M divided by SYT will be equal to 1 upon factor of safety. 1 upon factor of safety. So my dear students, let us solve this question by considering yield line. Right. So here we have all the values. Let us put them and let us simplify. Right. So my dear students, sigma A is we have 50 divided by SYT we have SYT. What is the value for SYT? It was 500 plus sigma M is 150 divided by 500 is equal to 1 upon factor of safety. Right. And as per this line, if I find factor of safety, I will get factor of safety is equal to 2.5. Right. These two factor of safeties we will get by Goodman line and yield line. And my dear students, always your answer is the lowest of these all. Right. Therefore, as 2 is less than 2.5, therefore your answer is factor of safety for this case is equal to 2. So my dear students, in fill in the blanks, you have to type these 2 for getting full marks. Now the next question was asked in GATE 2020 in set 2 for 1 mark. Now the question is, a machine member is subjected to fluctuating stress, sigma is equal to sigma naught cos 8 pi t. Now here the fluctuating stress is given as a function of cos. Therefore the stress is sigma is equal to sigma naught cos 8 pi t. Right. Where t must be a time. It is a variation of time. The endurance limit of the material is 350 MPa. Now here SE, endurance limit, that is SE is given 350 MPa. Now again, if the factor of safety used in the design is 3.5, right, here factor of safety FOS is usually is 3.5, then the maximum allowable value of sigma naught is, now here what must be the sigma naught maximum possible value, right? This is a question. Now we have to put this answer in MPa, round off to 2 decimal places, right? Now here nothing mentioned about which criteria we have to use, whether Soderberg, Goodman or modified Goodman or Gerber criteria. Now my dear students, if you use any criteria, the answer will be same. Don't worry about that, right? Because here it is a completely reverse load. We will check how it is completely reverse load. Now my dear students, sigma is given sigma naught cos 8 pi t, right? Now my dear students, this sigma maximum will be when this cos will become maximum. Whenever this cos becomes maximum, this sigma will become maximum, right? And the maximum value of cos is, now for cos theta, the maximum value is +1 and minimum value is -1. The cos theta is always varying between +1 and -1. That is cos 0 is equal to +1 and cos 180 is nothing but -1. Therefore, these are the two limits of the cos. Therefore, here we can say the sigma maximum can be equal to plus sigma naught and sigma minimum can be equal to minus sigma naught. Right? These are the limits. Therefore, if I calculate stress amplitude or mean stress is nothing but sigma maximum plus sigma minimum divided by 2, which will be plus sigma naught minus sigma naught divided by 2. Therefore, mean stress for such cases is 0, right? And stress amplitude which is nothing but sigma maximum minus sigma minimum divided by 2, which is nothing but sigma maximum is plus sigma naught minus sigma naught divided by 2. Therefore, stress amplitude is equal to plus sigma naught, right? Means for such type of, if maximum and minimum stresses are same in terms of magnitude, that is magnitude of maximum stress is equal to magnitude of minimum stress, then such type of loading is called completely reverse loading. And for completely reverse loading, mean stress is 0 and stress amplitude is equal to this value, maximum stress value, right? So my dear students, as here mean stress is 0, with this mean stress there will be a SUT or SYT. So as this is 0, no worry, right? We have to use only here fluctuating load criteria. So use any criteria. Let us say I am using here Soderberg criteria. You can use modified Goodman or Goodman also. If I use Soderberg criteria, as per Soderberg criteria, if I draw stress amplitude on y-axis and mean stress on x-axis, for Soderberg criteria, there will be an endurance strength on y-axis and there will be a SYT, yield strength on x-axis. And if I join this line between SE on y-axis and SYT on x-axis, the line is called Soderberg line. And each and every point falling under this line is under safe zone. right? So my dear students, as per Soderberg criteria, the equation of line becomes sigma A divided by SE plus sigma M divided by SYT is equal to 1 upon factor of safety, right? This will be the equation of line, and here already they have given factor of safety 3.5, right? In the question only they have provided the value of factor of safety. So my dear students, let us put the values. Sigma A divided by SE plus sigma M is 0 divided by SYT is equal to 1 upon factor of safety. Therefore the equation becomes sigma A divided by SE is equal to 1 upon factor of safety, right? This equation we will find. So my dear students, let us use this equation, that is sigma A is equal to SE divided by factor of safety. Therefore this sigma A is equal to SE. SE is provided in the question, that is 350 MPa. 350 MPa is SE divided by factor of safety is 3.5. Therefore if I simplify this, I will get, I think it is 100, right? 100 MPa. And this is the stress amplitude. Stress amplitude will be 100 MPa, and we know that stress amplitude is equal to sigma naught. Stress amplitude is equal to sigma naught. Therefore the maximum possible value of sigma naught will be equal to 100 MPa. So my dear students, here in this fill in the blanks you have to type 100, because already they have mentioned in it in the question. So if you type 100, then you will get full 1 mark. Now the last question in this lecture is, this question was asked in GATE 2019 in set 2 for 1 mark. The question is, endurance limit of a beam subjected to pure bending decreases with. The endurance limit, that is SE. This endurance limit SE decreases with. We have seen this SE is equal to KA, KB, KC, KD, KE, so on, AC dash, right? We have seen meaning of all these parameters: size factors, surface finish factor, all these parameters, modified stress concentration factor, temperature factor, all reliability factor, all these parameters we have seen. But here I am not going into these formulas. Here logically we will solve this question, my dear students. Logically let us try to answer this question. Now when this endurance strength will decrease, let us check the options. A, decrease in surface roughness and decrease in size of the beam. Option B, increase in surface roughness and decrease in size of the beam. Option C, increase in the surface roughness and increase in the size of beam. Option D, decrease in the surface roughness and increase in the size of beam. Means overall they are saying, if surface roughness and size increases or decreases, then what will happen to this endurance strength? That we have to check. Now my dear students, whenever surface roughness increases, we will say surface roughness. Whenever surface roughness increases, then because of the rough surface we can say stress concentration increases. Because of this stress concentration increases, the stresses in the component increases, and because of this the strength of component decreases, right? Therefore surface roughness increases, then strength decreases. Now let us understand for size. Now my dear students, when your size increases, see, for this size let us say there are 2 notches, and if I increase size I will find 4 notches, right? Means when your size increases, the discontinuities present in the diagram or notches present in the diagram increases. Therefore number of notches increases, and as number of notches increases, again stress concentration increases and the strength of component decreases. So my dear students, for decreasing the strength, the surface roughness as well as size is increasing. Therefore here it is mentioned that the endurance limit of beam subjected to pure bending decreases with increase in surface roughness as well as increase in size. Therefore for this question we can say option C is the correct choice, right? That is, increase in surface roughness and increase in size of the beam decreases the strength of component. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will start new topic.